Good afternoon, everybody. Namaste. Welcome. So, as part of our Renaissance issue with the specific theme on food, sleep, and yoga, as most of you are aware, we had organized an exhibition, and today is the culminating day, the last day of that exhibition on Aurobindo and Mother's insights on conscious eating and cooking. And as part of that whole week-long event, on 27th we had the opening, the inaugural event for that. And as culminating event, we are very happy to have a very special guest with us today, Ms. Deepshikha Reddy, who will be sharing some insights from what she learned from the mother in her interactions with her and in her work in the ashram on the larger theme of yoga in daily life, guidance from the mother, with some special emphasis on conscious cooking. So just to briefly introduce, I think everybody here knows Deepshikha Di or Mrs. Deepshikha Reddy already, but just to briefly introduce her. She is an educator, a facilitator, an administrator, a musician, a singer, and a wonderful cook as well. But the biggest thing that I guess the most important thing that I can say is she's a very loving older sister and a motherly figure to everyone who comes close to her and who comes to SACAR. So she's looking after a lot of administrative things at Aurobindo Center for Advanced Research, SACAR, in Puducherry here. And we are very happy that she agreed for this special interactive kind of session. She's going to, of course, share with us some stories from what she learned in her interactions with the mother. And let me also take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Anand Reddy, who is here supporting his wife and at the same time encouraging us to be able to do so that we'll continue to do efforts like this. And I welcome Dr. Shruti and Mr. Vipul from SACAR as well. So, Kaushal, Gayatri, Narendraji, Biswajita, Shruti, welcome everyone. So, let's, without any further ado, let me invite Deepshikha Didi to share some stories with us.
Thank you very much, Beloo. The only thing that I would like to tell you all is that, so whatever Beloo has said, don't believe her fully, okay? Don't take it seriously. But yes, I'm going to share some beautiful things about the mother, there is no doubt about it. And perhaps many of you know many things also, because many things have come in print after that, you know, like many of the letters, like many of Anand's letters are also there in the collective volumes of the mother. Like that, many of these letters that we used to have, our friends have from the mother. So we used to kind of refer to them. If it was the, if it were the personal experiences in yoga, then that was not talked about, because that was personal between the mother and the person. But otherwise, there are so many things, because mother came into the nitty-gritties of our life, you know, in every sector, actually, in every segment of our living. So when actually Beloo told me about this beautiful topic, it immediately somewhere, you know, immediately clicked, because this is exactly what we were interested in when we joined the ashram in our early 20s. I've been coming here since my early teens. I first came and saw the mother when I was 13. True, but that time we were going and coming and things like that. I became an Ashramite exactly 10 years later, about 22 and a half and things like that. So we are young, and you know, it's like, it's a funny thing that I remember that once I wrote to her a letter. So you can imagine the, you know, extent of ego and ignorance that, you know, mother, I came here to do yoga, you know, didn't know the first spelling of yoga, you know, so came here to do yoga, but what to do, I've fallen in love with Anand. So I want to do yoga, and also I want to have friendship with him. Will you allow? I got big thappad on my face. I don't want to expose any further about myself. Finally, of course, we were blessed. Blessed, and lots of conditions were there. All that is different, but this is what absolute ignorance, fully, very happy in that. But then still there was a kind of a great enthusiasm. No, we're coming to Sriaurobindosociety Ashram. We're going to Sriaurobindosociety. We live in Sriaurobindosociety Ashram. We have to do yoga, no? So we used to go here and there, and we showed off quite a lot. We'd go for meditation, we'd go for this, we'd go for listening to. We used to have so many great sadhaks at that time. So whatever I'm going to talk to you today are not only from the letters of my friends or the Ashramites at that time that we used to get to know. Like you are there, Beloo is there. So you can say when we are talking, mother told me this about this, that kind of a thing. But then we had a great advantage, which was that at that time great people lived. Great kind of sadhaks and yogis. And now almost one feels little empty. The times have changed, so-called. When you used to go inside the ashram, literally the other day I was just remembering, we get inside near the samadhi, this side, Puducherry's room, above that was Navjatji's room, then there was Karma's office, then there was Bulada's. They're great people. Sriaurobindo has written about them, how they were in their sadhana, intensity of sadhana. Then Nolinida was there, Amrituda was there, here there was Andreda, Pavitrada, there was Nirodha there. Then mother used to come to the corner room where Devuda, to see Devuda. That room was allocated to Devuda, as a matter of fact, and so then Reddy's office was there. Maybe I'm forgetting also some names. And Pranabda was there, Amal Kiran was there. You name them, and sadhaks like Kirodda, Purishadda. Anytime you go and speak with him, and we were so young at that time, you would only speak about the psychic being, what the mother has said. Don't waste time, my dear. Don't waste time. This is what she said to us, That is why she said you have to find your psychic being. That's why I am retiring. I am not going to anymore come down. Purishadda used to say that, how do you say, hell broke loose or something like that. There's a word, in English, that kind of a thing. People couldn't take the fact that mother is no more coming down. This I'm talking about 59, 60, when she went to the third floor. Then Purishadda said, then she made it very clear that I am no more coming down because you have to find me here. So there were those people, but then Panditji was there, you name them and they are there, and they all had Champatlaji was upstairs. Not that time he was not that much available as he was available to us later. So if we had any questions, if we wanted to know anything, and they were very sympathetic to us, because we were very young after all, and they knew that these people are like that, so that kind of a thing. So we had that opportunity to learn from them, of course from mother's letters, and of course from some personal incidents and letters. So it's not that I'll be able to speak. So it's a collection of everything to live here in the right spirit, so to say, if I could say. The other thing that I'd like to tell you is that, Baba used to say at home that mother is Bhagavan. So Ma used to put flowers and all, we used to do puja. In Bengali we say puja, we used to do puja. But then when we came here, mother didn't seem to be that puja type, guy, So she was so, literally speaking, this is one thing I want to tell you, that she was so practical. She was so practical, she was so loving, so extremely understanding. she was a wonderful administrator, she was a mother, she was, I mean, she was of course everything, but she never ever, Aditi, Bhagavati and all those things we learned much, much later. In fact, most of the people were like me, that we didn't read much, or we wanted to know things, but in a playful way kind of a thing, who is going to sit with life divine or things like that. No, not for us, at least not at that time. So, but she never weighs us down with any sermon or that kind of advice or anything, or making us feel. So she was kind of so practical, so realistic, and what to say, those men so sweet. So that was the thing, So that is one of the reasons why we, sorry to say, but please don't take me that seriously, but this is also the truth that I'm saying, that many times we used to take the mother as, because we didn't know that transcendent level, that universal, all those things. We knew mother just as she was there at that time, So we used to also disobey her, we used to also not certainly listen to her. Actually, what I'm going to talk to you, you will also understand how difficult it is, no doubt. So I've written notes because otherwise I would forget, there are too many things to speak. So we were very much interested in the yoga in life. There is no doubt about it. I wasn't lying to her as such, though I didn't know. But we didn't know exactly what it is. So we wanted to know what it is. So then we came to know, my first experience was that, I used to come here to sriaurobindosociety. Now everything is altered and changed, right? Down here, there was a library. And Norman Dowsett used to take care of that library. And he used to work with a couple of others. Ashram people, Ashramites, they were all Ashramites. So once there was some problem, and I used to come very regularly. I was very fond of him, and I also like to read some books. Sometimes I also. So then there was a problem, and a letter was written to the mother about the problem. Then mother answered saying that you have to go above in your consciousness to settle this issue. So when the letter came, it was shown to me because I used to come here regularly, every day. So then the first question I asked was, what is the meaning of going above in consciousness? Because remember, I was also 23, I was also young. So what is going above in consciousness? What is consciousness? And what is going above in consciousness? So that was my first interaction. I used to write letters to the mother from Delhi, those 10 years, and she used to always answer. That was a great thing about her. She used to always answer. And but then this consciousness and all those things, were not in my vocabulary, very honestly speaking. Even yoga was not in the vocabulary, but jog sadhana, everybody used to say, no? So then yoga came into our arena. Here there is a very sweet little question and answer. Sweet mother, please tell me the meaning of consciousness. She is saying, without consciousness, you would not even know that you live. Consciousness is the faculty of becoming aware of anything through identification. Now, when it comes to identification, then it becomes philosophy. I'll not go into that, but this is the answer that she gave. And then I was explained about what are the levels and this and that. Not that I understood anything and how to go above in consciousness. And when you go above in consciousness, then what are the changes of outlook you have? And then this. That's why she is saying that if we live in this consciousness, then we have no clarity of vision. We can't see what's happening, jada, nothing. So when we go above, our vision becomes clear, and this. But these were all more of speaking, not that we had at all experienced anything. So primarily yoga in life, I then understood, is basically living a life with a greater and higher consciousness. From within, from inside, which is going to govern our outer life and outer activities. So we have to live a conscious life. That is the first thing we came to know, we were made to learn, and slowly a greater and more constant conscious living. That's the idea of becoming conscious. Now, then we used to be told about what is Sriaurobindo's yoga? It's transformation of nature. So, transformation of nature. What is transformation of nature? Of course, we did understand that our basic nature is, constituted of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, in different proportions. So, we are all different from each other in our reactions, in our feelings, in our whatever, that part. But then, the major thing that we were told by these great bhaktas and sadhaks, whenever we talked with them, is that you don't have to understand anything. All you have to understand, of course, your nature, what is your weak point, what is your strong point, what are your limitations, every one of us, we have that. That you must know and work upon them. You will understand what is work upon, that's what is called sadhana, that part. But one thing that you have to do right from now is that you have to build that relationship with the mother. She is everything. So, she is within us and you have to communicate with her and you have to be conscious of her live presence. So then we understood that she is there, but she is like now she's, we were made to understand, don't keep her a sleeping partner. Make her a dynamic, active partner in your life so that she guides your life. So they used to keep on saying this kind of things, So one thing we were made to understand was that you have come here to the mother. Yes, you have of course come here to the mother. You are working for the mother. Yes, we are working for the mother. You love the mother. Yes, we love the mother. Do you feel the mother within yourself? Yes, we talk to her, we tell her, feel the mother. No. Do you feel the warmth here? No. What do you feel in meditation? Meditation, we think of all other things. Very honestly. Not of the mother. Then we remember sometimes, meditation is meant for the mother. Then we try to. That's right. Okay, you don't have to do anything. Just slowly, and they used to say, slowly if you keep on doing a thing, then it comes to you. So don't worry. The easiest way to feel the mother is to talk to her. Tell her each and everything. Okay? Talk to her. We write letters to her. No, writing is something fine. When you are not getting a solution, you write to her or whatever it is. But you talk to her about everything that's happening in your life. Everything. What you are thinking, what you are going to do, what you are planning, what you are going to cook, everything. You have a new friend, what is your relationship with that friend, this, that, everything. So, and then finally we found that that was the easiest way to build a communication, to build a relationship with her, is to keep talking. And that time she was here only, she was in her physical body. But yeah, so then it's best perhaps to keep telling her things. We said, okay, chalo, that's a nice thing. Now, because they used to say, you see, don't think of psychic, don't think of this and that, everything is the mother. You see, sometimes, we used to act very smart, and I still remember asking a question, psychic is witness Purusha. Yes, psychic is the soul, witness Purusha. Mother is thrilling. You don't have to worry about thrilling and pulling. Do you understand? There is no gender in all that. She is the mother. Psychic being for us, you have any idea of the soul? How do you speak to the soul? Do you know how it looks? How it behaves? What it wants? What it desires? No. You know the mother, no? I said, yes, she is good. So, we were spoken like this, and that makes you feel very good when you were young, You feel कि आज डांट पड़ गई है, but doesn't matter. It's a डांट or a डांट. It's okay. It doesn't matter. But then at least you are being given a direction. I still remember one uncle was there. He used to say, I can never forget it. He used to say he wrote to Shri. At that time they used to write letters to Sriaurobindosociety. So he wrote to Sriaurobindosociety a letter about whatever it is, And then Sriaurobindosociety says that you are feeling like this because you are not feeling the mother within you. Then he was given to understand, not by Sriaurobindosociety, I don't know if it is by mother or how, that he says to me, Deepshikha, that was because I didn't make space for the mother within me. Now this is the kind of language, it's not very easy for any youngster to understand, What's the meaning of making space for the mother within ourselves? It takes time to understand. So then he explained to me, when you make a bridge, when you walk over that and you have a communication with the mother, then this communication builds a space for the mother. That space becomes empty if you are not communicating anymore. Or if she wants to communicate to you, then where will she communicate? She has to communicate through that space. Because itna yaad hai bol rahi hu. But later also whatever, you see, these are from the letters, as a matter of fact. I still remember, I wouldn't like to name people, to someone very big over here. She had written that your letter is full of I, my and mine. Where is my space in there? You haven't created any space for me at all. And then when she tried to do, she was a serious sadhika. So when she tried to make space and everything, then she says, you made the space, but the space is now filled with something else. The problem is that space also has to be, Anand, I don't know how to explain. The space has to be kept with adoration and with constant remembrance of the mother or something of that sort. I mean, otherwise that space, she says, that gets invaded because we give space to so many other forces that space is taken by other forces. You see, that it was a very interesting thing that I came to know from her, that she finally made the space, but she lost the space again. Sadhana is a damn tough thing. It's not easy. Anyway, Beloo told me to speak regarding food and conscious eating first, but there are so many other areas also to speak upon. I have kept my watch, but Beloo, 1 घंटा को मेरे को दे.
1 घंटा आपको दिया, आधा घंटा हम आपसे कुछ पूछ लेंगे.
हाँ, पर आप पूछोगे तो मैं जवाब कुछ नहीं दे पाऊंगी because it's all the mother has to answer. Regarding food and cooking, many things you have got from Beloo's collection here, Beloo's exhibition. Most of the things are, many points are there, but I'll tell you some other things also. Like she used to say, let cooking be simple, which is never very oily, overburdened with masalas. She knew that Indians eat quite a lot of masalas. It's like Ravindraji told me once that mother used to say, in the West it's not like that. But Indian ladies, Indian girls do not get married to their husbands. They get married to the whole family, So therefore he said to her, she said to him that therefore I am very careful to allow marriages or not if I see that the person has got possibilities of doing sadhana, because the person is like a deluge. Actually, mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, there's so many. But in the West, it's not like that. So this is what he told me, actually. He himself, Ravindraji, told me, So she knew about Indian tendency of cooking with more masalas, so don't make it very... And I am from Delhi, basically, so I knew Punjabi food, and Punjabi meat and... whatever it is, bharwa masale, this bangan bolo, ye bolo, wo bolo, sarson ka saag bolo. So I used to find it sometimes, oh my God, you put only this, nothing else, No, you're not supposed to be putting anything more. Okay. In CH is corner house. In corner house, you might be knowing that non-vegetarian was allowed. Since it was a children's kitchen basically, so she said, children, they have come to study over here, they have not yet taken the spiritual life as their, life, spirituality in their life as their sadhana. So let them eat whatever they want. So there is vegetarian, there is non-vegetarian. When they choose to, if they choose to remain in the ashram, then they'll go for dining room food. And in dining room, at least at that time, I don't know, I haven't gone into the kitchen of dining room a long time. Even lasan and pyaz, garlic and onion was also not allowed. Not even jackfruit. I mean jackfruit when it is kacha, when it is unripe. We consider it to be a very good vegetable, very. She said, no, it has got non-veg tendencies, so that will not come in. So jackfruit also never came in at that time. But in corner house, very good, everything was there. Egg every day, and on Thursdays there used to be non-vegetarian, this thing. And that's how it was over here. And the rest of the things are, in Beloo's exhibition, this is there, cook in slow fire or medium fire, but we used to also cook in very heavy flame. Especially fried things, puris and pakoras and all those things, or if you are in a hurry. But she would have liked to. She always liked, she didn't like things to be cooked in aluminium. But of course we didn't have. But at one time for years together, a dining room had to use aluminium, everything, even aluminium spoons. Have you ever seen aluminium spoons? We have almost never seen. Now we only see steel spoons, that kind of thing, because they couldn't afford it. For years together, in the time of Sriaurobindosociety also, as a matter of fact. Because I got 50 pairs of those things from Ved Prakashji when SACAR was built. We had nothing and we had no money. He said, you take from our store. Then some Gujarati big people, they'd come here from business people from Africa and all. They are the ones who gave those big parties, this big, this very heavy steel, all that is from later. But she didn't want it actually. But if one has to, then one has to. But we didn't need to, And one thing she was very careful about, she used to say, make the food tasty. Whatever masala, whatever it is, food should not be distasteful, number one. Number two, the look should also be good. And then later I understood from Vivadi used to be Sanjeevanda's sister, and she used to, she was an artist herself, and she used to be head of the batik department, and she was decorating the food given to the mother, the food that was served to the mother. As I was telling you the other day when Pratibha gave the talk, that she was a very poor eater. But out of adoration and love, they would cook in mother's kitchen her food, and of course Sriaurobindo's food too, no doubt. Though Sriaurobindo had absolutely no fuss, and used to love. In fact, mother stopped all his whatever non-veg and all those things, But whatever he used to be given, like luchi, aloo he used to like, khichdi he used to like. He used to like halwa very much. So there were things that he used to like, pantua he used to like very much. Mridudi used to make, or it used to go from Lightdi's house, Robidas, Goridi used to be Sunilda, this musician, his wife. Goridi's mother used to make things, and Goridi's mother used to make barfi out of almonds for the mother, small barfis, and then mother used to eat, and also from pista. And then after 10 days she comes to Goridi and said, Gauri, tell your mother not to anymore send me. I have put on 1 kg. she used to be very careful about her weight because mother was not very tall or whatever it is, I don't want to eat anymore now, So, very interesting things, very interesting stories. But mother stopped many things for sure, according to whatever she felt that he should not have this or he should not. And Aurobindo was such an obedient fellow, I tell you. Those people, those who tell me about Aurobindo's times and all, they say, he won't ask for a thing, nothing at all, whatever is put he would eat, kind of a thing. So anyway, that part is. So look and color. And Vibhati used to tell me that, gajar, carrot is red, spinach is green, like that, color, really color. And mother used to eat mostly smashed food and soft food, And they would prepare the plate. And now sometimes when I see in some food channels, I love to see some food channels once in a while, and they say, now we are plating it. When they say after cooking, we are plating it, and they put a chocolate bar like this, or they put something, I always remember that even mother used to like, things, So she used to say, Deepshikha, she used to like stuffed things. So say for example, capsicum stuffed, like even we make capsicum stuffed, but we usually little bit oil fry we do, na? So she says that it used to be not like that. And then the first round inside will be aloo ka. So aloo is white. Then next round will be that of carrot, that's red. And then the third round will be another color. So this. Then I said, well, I've been told that I used to take interviews of people, those who were very closely working with the mother. So I used to say that, but she hardly ate anything. He said, yes, that was the problem. She would just take out with great difficulty a little bit, and she would take. But then, even for that, we used to do everything. The whole plate used to be so well decorated, So when even Aurobindo has talked about, make your food not only tasty, but it should look also appetizing, that even he has mentioned it, I have read it myself. Mother was a strict vegetarian as such. Once Beloo said, I'll tell stories. Once upstairs ladies, they thought that would like to test if mother will understand, will make a cake for her with eggs, let us see. So normally they would never do, because there's so much reverence and so much love for the mother. They would all listen to whatever she says, whatever she has said, however she has said. But I don't know how this prank came into their heads, but they did it. And the first bite she took, she got so angry. She scolded them left and right. Because one of the ladies told me, that mummy of, now I'm forgetting the names also. I don't know, I'm really getting old. She was very, very close to the mother. She was actually working with the mother. So she says, Deepshikha, we got such scolding. You think I won't understand? You dare do that to me? She was very upset with the egg being put in her cake. She was a total vegetarian. I used to cook for Thursdays, non-vegetarian. And they used to say that, Pranabda said, we used to ask Pranabda, she doesn't even, she has never eaten non-vegetarian, so how we send it to her? Then he said that, what happens when we send it? It's a big tiffin box. Then Pranabda said, the tiffin box will be kept in front of her, and she would touch it. She would touch it, then we'll open it, and then she will savor the fragrance of it. It will be opened and she will get the smell of it. And when we came to know that she'll get the smell of it, then we used to put garam masala on top and pudina on top, so that because it'll be open to her and she will, she would take 1 spoon also, but she would make Pranabda eat in front of her. So they would take out whatever little from all the 4-5 boxes, and then they'll set a box again and it will be sent back to us as Prasad. So we used to say that on Thursdays we get Prasad. So we used to run to corner house at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And now this food business is 365 days. And hardly we could rest, but we were very young and we enjoyed everything, that part. So that's how it used to be. But regarding learning consciousness that Beloo has specially, yeah, definitely we were told. I still remember Monoranjan Da, like this father, came to teach me specially because I had to cook this thing, non-veg. Came to teach me how to cook chicken. So the first thing he said was that you will come inside the kitchen, you will pray to the mother, you will offer whatever you are going to cook to the mother. If you have any tension in your head, keep it outside the kitchen, leave it outside the kitchen and come inside. Never cook with tension in your head. Now I'll teach you how to cook. He was a big man, actually. I still remember he told me that go to the ocean and bring a bottle of ocean water. Corner house was very close to the ocean. So I went, and that time it was not locked. That gate is locked, these days. So that gate was not locked. It didn't used to be locked. We could go onto the beach anytime, And patharata nahi tha. All these things were not there. This came much later now, only last 2 decades, not 2 or 2.5. It's black, huge big stones. Before that, nothing was there. I said, why did you tell me to bring this? The salt is going to be exactly like this. So you have to put the salt. First I have to teach you how much salt has to be put and how you keep tasting. And when it becomes like seawater, stop it. That was the way of teaching, whatever it is, And while teaching, because those people are so close to the mother, we learnt also many things actually. Regarding this tension thing, once we were having lots of arguments and there were problems going on 3 days, 4 days in corner house, and suddenly we see that around 50 children became sick and they were all admitted to the nursing home, cure house, and nursing home came later. Actually, there were 2 cure houses. One was this side and one was another Gujarati Didi was there. That one quarantine kind of thing. So then I don't know what might have happened. We came to know that it was because of the pies. Pies got spoiled or something like that. So okay, we said maybe cold storage had just come, but ice must have been kept in the cold storage, or maybe it got kept outside for a longer time. Whatever it is, they said it has come out of some preparation by milk. Okay, but then this mother came to know, because so many children together became sick, So Ashram is a small place, So she comes to know everything. So she came to know. Then Pranabda said, mother has called everybody from corner house. It was a month of November, to go to her. So we were afraid, but we were also very happy that we'll go to her. So we all went. We were all quiet, in front of the mother. We almost couldn't blink, So all quiet. We had a girl who was younger than us. She was in her teens. She kept on saying in Bengali, and she had no fear at all. Ma, ki hoiche jano? You know what happened? This one was fighting and this one was arguing. Emni koreche, all these things, and mother quietly heard and we were absolutely, oh my God. Then she stopped. after 3-4 minutes, she nicely talked all those things. And then mother concentrated. She concentrated, like this. And then, as if she called the peace to come down, she said, peace, peace, peace 3 times, slowly. And we were all absolutely pin drop silence. And we almost felt, solid peace descended or something like that, Slowly, one by one, we did pranam to her and came out. And nobody talked. And things got resolved. They had to get resolved, no doubt about it. But later then, Pranabdha came. And Pranabdha used to come once in a while. And then he used to tell us things. Sometimes we also used to go to him. Then he said that this is what the mother has said, that it is nothing. It is the disharmony in corner house which has caused this indigestion in the children. Children's stomach is very delicate. You have to be very careful, So to us it was told Payesh, but she said it is the disharmony. So when Manoranjana told me, keep your tensions out, that's right, actually, it's a different thing. Those days we didn't have much tension, but yeah, that's a very important thing. So Pranabdha used to come and tell us about many things, and he never read much, whatever he said was because he used to be with the mother. He was with the mother for so many decades, and whatever mother used to say, he used to remember. And mother used to tell him that you will remember whatever I am telling you, you will remember in future times whenever you need to remember. He was given that boon, to remember. So, in one such sitting with Pranabdha, we were then told about the, cooking for desire and eating with desire. Because we were in the cooking line, isn't it? So desire was very important, So we were slowly getting into the, troubled waters of sadhana, actually, because we hardly understood those things at that time in those days. Only one thing that I understood about desire, other than whatever was told, that desire is not the right thing in yoga. Preference and desire, things like that. That we all must become conscious of our desire. I'm just telling you these things that we were told, but don't think that we did anything. No? It took us a long time first to understand the meaning and the difference between Then mother said that for the children should be taught. I don't know who taught them. We never taught them. Children, because it was a children's kitchen. So children should be taught right at that age only, a few things. This desire comes in that you have to have control, And according to the mother, what I understand being in education is that if these great principles are given when we are very young, in the right manner if we can, not as a sadman, not as dant doot ke, nothing of that sort, but it can go, all through one's life. But I don't know, we were cooks. We were cooks. We never said anything, it should be done or it should be done. We were told that this should be done. You must eat according to the need of the body. You must understand how much the body needs. Because we have a tendency to eat more than we need, more than the body needs. So all we used to understand at that time was that अच्छा लगता है, अच्छा बनता है, चलो आज, that kind of thing. One thing only I understood at that time about desire was that when the luchi day, there used to be one day when puris used to be fried. Puri, aludam and payesh. These were the 3 items only at night. And believe it or not, right from the beginning of the street, there used to be that bhajar's gondut, the smell of puri being fried, And We didn't know from where all the teachers used to come. Many teachers used to come, many others used to come, those who do not regularly take, And then we started counting in 1 kilo of atta, half maida it used to be, how many luchis we get. Because next time we started making 2 kilos more, 3 kilos more, because so many people used to come who would never come regularly. And one thing I can tell you, I still remember the excitement in the air. The vibrations in the air, it was so vital. Everybody, Puri asked this, asked that, and all. Even Nishikanta used to come. Nishikanta, the great poet. He used to come outside and he used to say, he used to take my name and call her. So I used to go. And then he used to say, just bring me 15 puris. Just bring me 15 puris and आलू तो ना आलू खेते होगा उसके साथ तो आलू खाना ही होगा ऐसे करके बोलते थे और इतने बड़े आदमी इतने वो ना when once he was very ill he was brought, mother told him to be brought on the meditation hall and she kept her foot on top of it. He was a great guy, even Sriaurobindosociety said, I said how to not obey him, so then people came to know and then I was given such a scolding, then after that even if you would call me, I would never go. I would say, go and say Deepshikha hasn't come. Because I couldn't say no to him. And so many people used to eat so much, and there would be invariably problems of digestion after that. So desire was most palpably remembered and felt by me was on the Puri days. That's one thing I cannot forget, very much so, Not even as much on this thing, chicken day. Because on chickens, chicken day, 1/3 would be vegetarian and 2/3 would be non-vegetarian. More people used to take non-vegetarian. So about the desire, control of desire, this awareness slowly started. Regarding control, we were told that mother didn't like fasting. She used to say that control your food and eat the right measure. But then at the same time, she would always say, eat the right food and the right amount of food that the body needs. This is one thing it took us a very long time to understand, to distinguish between my desire for eating and what the body needs. Anyway, that came much, much later. That is really conscious eating. But we were told about all of these things. What else? She said, eat silently and chew and eat. Chew and eat, I don't know if whoever did, but eat silently was never there in corner house. Everybody spoke. Not only we spoke, all the children spoke, all the teachers spoke. Even on the counter, people will sometimes speak to each other. So that's one thing, please forgive me. There's a silent room in dining room, but we didn't have anything in corner house as such, So, Chandubai, our head at that time was Chandubai. Chandubai was a very long and seasoned sadhak, So, and he was one of those sadhaks, almost, you should not laugh, you should not talk much, you have come to do sadhana, that kind of thing. We used to feel very good with Pranabdha, because Pranabdha was very easy, even though you say so many things what the mother has said, this, but do this, do not do this, but he never gave us. I still remember he called me on a cloudy day and he says, Deepshikha, go to corner house and see if they're making orders. I said, but okay, I'll go, because from the physical education, corner house is just, one block. So I said, but if they're not making, tell them to make. It's a rainy day, tell them to make. And then tell them, you bring one thala. In Bengali we say thala. Ek thala. Do thala So, and then I would go and once really kumro हम लोग बोलते हैं क्या बोलते हैं pumpkin. Pumpkin slice का पकौड़ा बन रहा था, बड़ा अच्छा बनता है, very nice, you know. I said, Prasad is asking for this thing, and how many people you are there? Duthala you are asking for? I said, he said Duthala. That means more people are maybe there, over there. So they gave Duthala quite okay. Yeah, I understand somebody brought it, you know. But then there was other times when that it was not there. Then I said, he said, you make if it's possible this thing, because you see it's raining outside. And then he would say, if it's a cloudy day, he would say, once I told him, because I stood really touching, I said, it's cloudy, so light is not very good. He said, go to the seafront, go have a walk. It's very good, you know, in Murshidabad when I was there, I think it's from Murshidabad. When, you know, on cloudy days, I used to take a cycle and go around the whole river. So go, you don't have to walk. We could, you know, such a good head of the department, as a matter of fact. You know, I still remember I could tell him that I don't feel like working at all today. What do you want to do? I said, you have to tell me stories. And he had galore, bags full of stories. Mother used to tell, no, when mother was taking Wednesday classes in the playground, Pranabda used to take care of the children, you know, here on that small guest house area, isn't it, before entering the playground. There he used to mind the children. He used to tell stories, you know. So many stories, you know. He could invent stories immediately, kind of a thing, you know. So he was that kind of a man, and Chandu Bhai was, one day he calls me, you have seen the mango tree here? In corner house, mango tree. It used to fruit 3-4 times. It was a grace. It was a tree of mother's grace. And we used to take kacha mangoes and we used to make amtel. Amtel is made with tel and this thing and shorshe bata, mustard paste and little gur and mirchi and all that. It used to be very nice. And we were 3-4 girls, and we used to eat the whole afternoon. We used to chat, and he used to come and tell. He would come and tell us. One day he called me and he said, "You are educated, no?" I said, "Yes." "Yes, I understand. I've heard like that." I said, "Yes, I am educated. I don't want to talk to them. They will not understand me. You have come here for what?" बड़ा मुश्किल होता बोलना किसके लिए. We are working in corners. You have come here to do yoga, sadhana. I said, of course, yes. We are doing sadhana. Chatting away, talking away, eating all these mangoes. What is this, huh? I said, but working time, we are working. This is working time or no working time. In sadhana, we are not supposed to talk. Understand? And you know, I was quiet. I didn't say anything. Went back, told them. They said, okay. Then we invented, instead of wanting to learn anything in the right manner, we knew he was right, you know, but we couldn't control. So we made the amtel nicely, put it in a box, and went to the nearest friend's house and afternoon chat and that, and then came back for work. Recently I made amtel for Anand. I said, this is the amtel that we used to eat in corner house. It was much later that we understood, you know, the value of these advices, as a matter of fact. Very honestly, I'm being very honest with you. Okay, Beloo, what is conscious? What more? Okay. No, not questions. I have other things to say, very interesting things. So the meaning of communication with the body came relatively much later, because as we were told that mental controls and vital controls, at least you can, but the body is so silent that we don't understand. We have to make a different kind of friendship with the body. And Mother used to say that body is a very obedient instrument. If you can make friendship with the body and the rest of the parts of the body also, you can communicate with that part and you can take care of yourself. So we came to know about it very honestly much later. Regarding this desire thing also, it took us relatively much longer because understanding the body needs took a long time. Okay. So most of the major tenets of our yoga, to remember and offer, to become conscious, to make a friendship with the mother within yourself, to keep talking to her, to become rid of one's tensions, and then later how to become, how to grow the attitude of surrender that they used to, this big people used to tell us, surrender, surrender, surrender. So many words, you know. Now, since these controls of the body are also, and this desire and food is also very closely connected with health, I would like to share with you a few things which I feel we learned and they were very useful and beneficial. While talking about the body, mother didn't like us to take much medicines. Okay? Especially allopathy medicines. If could be avoided. Normally she would never say take the pills. So there also comes the understanding of the body. Not only in terms of understanding the body, only for food, how much I should eat, what I should do, but in keeping it fit. So she would say that, she would say, first try to understand what has happened to you, why it has happened, when it has happened, try to remember, after which sequence, she used the word sequence, when did you have this headache, when did you first feel this acidity, or when this trouble came in. So when you go in sequence backwards, then you will become more conscious, not to avoid doing what has happened. Okay? And then she says that if you can contact your body rightly by trying to understand the body, because she used to say that the body is conscious and obedient, no doubt, but it's always under the dominance of the mind and the emotions so much that it can never do things its own way. If it is given its freedom and right to do, act the way it wants to act, it would never like to fall ill as such. So try to, and if part-wise she would say, if your leg is paining, or if your stomach is paining, or if your back is problem. So that's why I was saying in the beginning, she has talked about such details, you know. So then she says that you would know whether the body wants to have rest, or it wants to have light food, or it wants to have only water, or it wants to have only warm water, or all these things, or it wants to have only peace. It wants to take care of itself by only the descent of peace in it. And then she would say how to bring down peace, how to call for peace, and how peace comes down if you can communicate yourself with true peace. It's beautiful actually. Then the other day, Pradeepa was talking about the pranayam that she herself has done, pranayam, and this is her own experience, that after pranayam, if one can hold the breath, which is called, that word I always forget, what is it, Anand? Holding the breath. Purak. Purak. This is another word also. Then you take the breath to the part that is affected. You have pain. This is all because of pain relief I am saying. And then it works over there. And if you read the chapter on imagination in the Life Divine by Sri Aurobindo, is so revealing that it answers so many of my questions. What's happening now in the world, because we can imagine those things. So here Aurobindo says in yoga there are two things that are very, very important. One is imagination. We cannot have detachment for that matter. He says unless and until we are objective, from objective angle we are looking at ourselves, the subject. So you have to imagine that you are outside of yourself and you are watching. Because only then you understand when anger gets in, this gets in. Anyway, whatever I want to say is that this is the power of imagination that works while doing this kumbh, that I am taking my breath. So it is imagination. So if we keep trying to analyze where my breath is going, we'll never be able to find it. It's through imagination, and because it has been said in the Shastras, even our mother has herself practiced it, so we go by faith of, So then you take it there. Yogesh Mohan's one of the major, tenets of his cure is this pranayam and carrying forward this breath here and there, and of course there are other procedures. So she says that go there with your breath and imagine my light at that place, curing you. And also even otherwise, I still remember all these people used to say, our elders from whom we learned so many things, that mother used to tell us, no, don't take medicines. So sit quiet. Now she used to say for everything, you have to quieten yourself. Now this is something very important that I would like to tell you. For everything she would say, learn to quieten yourself. It's not only for doing sadhana and this and that, like she has said about concentration, that if you can learn how to focus, how to concentrate in your ordinary, by the way, let me tell you, all these things she used to say, I'm saying only for those who are doing sadhana, not for ordinary life. Those who are living in Bombay, Delhi, those who are not aware of, connecting with the divine. She says, no, it's not. Let them have a very good, happy-go-lucky life and very nice. I'm not at all meaning anything of these. And she makes it very clear. This is in print, you can read also. So these were meant only for those who want to have yoga in their daily life. So these things that I have brought to you is entirely for only those who want to know life and body and mind and all these subtle levels within us deeply. Because for this we need a terrible aspiration, we need tremendous, in sadhana we need tremendous amount of purification, which can be done with detachment, has to be done. Without detachment we cannot do anything. And then comes surrender, or surrender is the first and the last key from that angle. So she doesn't talk about at all. She always used to say, don't disturb them, they are fine. And so this is only meant. So she would say that, they used to tell us that she would say, imagine my light, quieten yourself. For everything she would say, quieten yourself. First, settle your body, settle your emotions, settle your mind, settle your body, everything. Quieten yourself. Let peace descend in your body. Make it tranquil, bring it to that poise. That's extremely important. Otherwise you will not be able to, she used to say, receive anything. The problem is that everything will be so temporary, you will not be. So you have to quieten yourself. Concentrate, and then wherever it is painful, think of my light and it will work there. And they used to say that, Deepshikha, you try this will work. But I can tell you very honestly, for years I never tried. I started trying it much later. Not for next 20 years. 20s to 40s, 40s also, I never tried. But later I tried. And I got wonderful results. Absolutely wonderful results. That's why sometimes I think, I really miss the bus. Had I, if I was one of those obedient ones, we used to love, being together, have khichdi and this and that, have a nice, get together and all that. When I got married with Anand, they used to say, got married with such a serious guy, yaar. You don't come back at all for tea, having these tea meets and this and that, So we used to enjoy. So anyway, I caught on to the bus later, but this is very, very, very correct. I'll give you a small story. I was in my teens when I used to come here for darshan. On a particular darshan days, those days darshan used to be from 10 to 10:30 on darshan days, and mother used to give darshan then in the afternoon. So one day I had a great cough, very big bad cough, and I went on time and I went entirely inside the meditation hall, and everybody was sitting there, so I could not have come out at all, If I did have a small little bottle of water, but I said, I have made a great mistake now, what to do? I can't come out any further. It was darshan day, and at that time, I had not become an Ashramite, so I didn't know all these things that I'm talking to you. I came to know only after I became an Ashramite, right? I was here, and I used to talk with these people and things like that. That time I didn't know. That time I had only my father and mother at home. Maybe read a few. I still remember that book, White Roses. The mother writing things to Ruta. Those kind of small things, I could never read big books, small. So, and that time nobody like that told me, what I was told later, that keep talking to the mother, make space for the mother, all those things. So I remember I closed my eyes and I just said to the mother, Mother, I've come all the way, our family, we have all come all the way from Puducherry, from Delhi for this day, and I have a very bad cough, and if I cough, then nobody will be able to meditate. Will you please stop my cough for half an hour? After that, I will go to a doctor, I'll do whatever I have to do. But please see to it, I really don't want, I really badi vinti kari unse, कि oh ma, please do that for me. But I don't know what kind of contact I could make. I did not cough for half an hour. Literally, I did not cough. I didn't need any water. That is something that when other people used to tell me later, you can do this, can do that, I had it at the back of my mind that yes, one can do it. And later when I tried, I have done experiments with the body part at least, and one thing I can say is that yeah, one can achieve, one can do these things. Then to a friend of mine, she said, who used to have nazla, prone to cold, She said, no, don't take any medicines. I'm not taking names, they are still living here. Go and walk on the seafront in the 4 o'clock sun. 4 o'clock sunlight, every day go and walk. And she told me in 2 months' time, she became rid of her this cold, and almost she never had it. And if she had it, she would again do the same thing. For constipation, and then normally she would say drink water, at least 2 glasses after getting up from bed. It helps, and this and that, all those things. For constipation, in interview, one of them said that she showed him how to do the exercise. She took a stick and put her hand like that, and she was walking. And then she told him about lying down exercises for constipation, for treating constipation. And for throat problems, like I have many times, Aurobindo says that throat is the house of expression. So if you have throat problems that means you have some kind of resistance. Of course, everything is basically resistance, I know, but this is an obstruction in that area for a kind of resistance related to that chakra. So, so if you have sore throat or if you have cough, you try to understand your problem deeply and you will be able to. Sometimes it is successful. Actually, these things, what happens is that it takes time. These practices take time to understand and take time also for the result. What else? There are so many beautiful things. These things, they are difficult efforts, but I'll just tell you one more thing about this, very interesting. बेलू ने क्या जो स्टोरी बोलने बोला याद भी आ रही है स्टोरीज. Pain, I'm talking about pain. I took interview of this gentleman, Robida. Robida was a photographer and mother taught him photography. And Robida was telling me one day that he used to have a lot of stomachache. And so he used to go and tell the mother. And as Sri Aurobindo said in the Life Divine, that pain comes from outside. We take it. We accept it. We do not have the power to throw it away. We give it access within us, but it comes from outside. So the mother also told him, look, it comes from outside, try to throw it out. It doesn't belong to you. So then mother also showed him how to throw it out. But he also tried quite a lot. He couldn't do it. Then he again goes to the mother and he says, what you are telling me, I'm not. And these people used to really consider mother like their own mother. The kind of things that they would say to the mother, we could not imagine, because we had all said and done, not that, that Bhagavati part, but otherwise she was the mother, no? So you cannot think of this, or you cannot write like this, or you cannot speak like this, So one day mother said in photography, I'll come back to that, pain, just a little more story. He took photographs of monkeys, okay, in the Lake State he had gone. And he brings those photographs and mother looks at them and mother concentrates and she almost gets lost and she says, their eyes, such special eyes they have. They want to go beyond their limitation. They want to evolve. They want to jump way beyond them. They are lovely eyes. Then he says, then what are we? Why didn't you make your ashram with monkeys? I said, you could say that. I said, you could say that to her? Says, yes, the way she concentrates and then this, and then she said, I said, I'm sitting in front. She should say something about my photography, only the eyes and that. And I said, why don't you? I said, well, the way, Devuda also, what did Devuda says? Mother called me to settle everything in her room, and I had to go up, so I had to get onto the stool, and I did all the books and everything in her house and in her room, and then while coming down she gave me a big perfume. She said, this is a French perfume and a very good perfume and all, you take it. So she was taking it down, and there was a lady called Sutapa. Okay, Sutapa was going up. So he was so happy. He says, Sutapa, I got this. Mother gave me this nice perfume. Sutapa looks at it, this and that. Oh, she fooled you. This is eau de cologne. This is not perfume. What? This though, every day, morning and evening we put, He got so angry. She betrayed me. She said it's perfume. He again, halfway staircase, he goes up and says, here is your perfume and eau de cologne. But then mother says, what happened when I gave you? You were so happy. Now suddenly, who has told you? He said, I didn't take Sutapa's name, but Sutapa was going to the mother. So these people used to behave with the mother almost like your own mother, you know, you understand? So those, and then in 50s and all, there's now Moraza and all these people, Jumudi, they are there. So they also had a very, very close relationship, you know. We, in our 60s and all, you know, we didn't get it, you know. Of course, we had letters, we saw her, and if necessary, went and all, I agree. But then that kind of thing, you know, is really envious as a matter of fact. And I used to collect so many things, and I used to come back and write down, you know, that this is what she said, this is what she said. Anyway, I was talking about pain. So he couldn't do. So then he goes to the mother. Mother said, you are trying, you know, you will be able to do it. And then he says, one night, I again had that terrible pain. I had so much pain that I, you know, in Bengal we call it Pashbalish ki bol rahe? Bolsters, you know, we always have bolsters. So he took the bolster and he was just crouching like this. It was in a very bad condition. And he says, I was definitely kind of calling the mother and all that. Suddenly he says, the bolster goes away, just bolster comes out, and bolster was vibrating with pain, and he had no pain. He experienced that, you know. Suddenly the bolster is throbbing with pain. Absolutely. You were saying it was vibrating like this, and my pain was gone. It was then that I understood, Deepshikha, that pain and all, they come from outside. They're very difficult things to understand. As a story, it is nice to, but for him also it took a long time, and mother was there in body, you see. She used to be very careful about the body and exercises, basically because, you know, our integral yoga, living with a higher consciousness, which is our aim. Once we are able to live in, you know, a certain higher consciousness, there is a great possibility of descent of light, descent of some force. So then, at that time, if the body is not strong, then we cannot hold that force. We get shattered, as a matter of fact. That's one of the reasons that they were very, very careful. You know, in our school, that a student can miss one day of school, but cannot very easily miss the physical education. I used to find boys being brought to Pranabdha, and they used to be so frightened, you know, it's Kano Ashani, Kano Jaoni, you know, like, I mean, they were asked questions, you know, that kind of a thing, you know. So, that is one of the reasons that this is the story. And what is it? About daily exercises. Beloo 5 minutes hai, 5.5 minutes. About daily exercises, I'll tell you about some lovely letters. I wanted to tell you actually about about sleep, you know. Eating consciously, and I brought enough material for health. Sleeping, because sleeping, she used to say, it takes 1/3 of our life, so one must know how to sleep. It's a very, very important segment in our life. So, and point by point she has said what to do before sleeping, how to sleep, which are the hours of sleep and all that. And then beautiful questions regarding, because work is our life, isn't it? So basic things about work we all know. To work sincerely, to work with remembering the mother, to work with offering, to work with detachment, Aurobindo has said, work with a positive attitude of cheerfulness and happiness. And while working, as Aurobindo has said, it's a collective yoga, or yoga is collective yoga. Never look at the defects of people, only mark the good points so that you can learn from them. All those are basic things, But how, somebody writes to the mother, that is from my time, We are working for you, we are remembering you, as if we are obliging the divine, that kind of a thing, Then why do we get tired? And then such lovely answers she has given, But then I have no time, Beloo hasn't given me any time.
We can request you to come back some other time. I just wanted to see in case there are any comments or questions from anybody.
Okay, then finally I'll finish with the health. She said that we had Pavitrada, as you all know, was a great bhakta, great man, with great spiritual achievements. His body, those of you who remember, if you do at all, tall, lanky-manky, very thin. And Manasda's eldest sister, Pritidi. When Pritidi died, Pranabda told me that mother used to say that Priti is a very, very good soul, very good soul. You should read Pritidi's book, Memorable Moments or something. Moments Eternal. Superb, absolutely superb book. You must read, So Pritidi also, mother used to come in the nights in those days. Of course, we know because she said. But otherwise she must be doing it now also, that in the night she used to come and cure her, and once she said she had done a full-scale operation in the night. She had some very, very bad problems, and in the morning the bed was wet with whatever pus and this and that, and then Vibhadi was living nearby, and Minudi, they came and cleaned up everything, and she became completely rid of her problem. And again she would fall sick, and she used to get so angry. She used to say, every time I do, still you are not receptive to my force. And Pavitra is also like that. You people have such bad foundation, like transformation tree. A little wind and it will come down. She was very particular, that people should have good health. But what we learned when we were young from all these people who used to talk to us is basically that this inner harmony we must have. If we don't have harmony within us, then our health can never be steady and good outside of us. That's very, very... Because say for example, she has said that emotional disturbance means when you have lung problem, that means you are emotionally disturbed. I have got so many examples of people who have lost their lives because they couldn't handle their emotions finally, Emotions are very intense things, na? And then she would say that when do you have tumors? Inside the body, when the cells are not getting along with each other, then what happens is that a certain group of cells, they say, okay, I have nothing to do with you. It starts growing separately. That becomes a tumor. And then resistances within us. I couldn't read any of her, I just spoke myself. From now comes her words actually, So, about exercises, about, I'll just tell you, maybe later on.
You take a seminar on this, not a talk.
No, one was how to sleep well, and whole day working for you. I don't get any time for exercises. What to do when you tell us to do exercises? Such lovely, insights. Why do I become so tired after my work, when I work for you? Lovely answers. How to feel rested in between our works. Sometimes when I feel lazy, don't feel like working, should I stop working? Oh my God, what she says. So Beloo, there are so many things I wanted to, but I couldn't get time, but I'm so sorry.
No, we'll have you back for this work thing. I think those are very important insights.
Work is very important because we can't do without work, and we work. We know only how to work, not to this thing. One last story. Okay, the last one.
Okay. Absolutely the last one.
Ganpat Ramji goes one day running to the mother and says, Mother, somebody has come from Switzerland, Europe, your country, and he's a bhakta, he's a very spiritual man, and he wants to come and see you. Will you please? We also used to go only with appointments. We still have got envelopes in which is written 11 a.m. on that day or 3 p.m. with appointments only. At least we people never went without appointments. Like Nishikantoda, he had a problem in the corner house. He went with 2 tomato in the heart and mirchi leke seedha upar chala gaya Mataji ke paas. So those things we never had any of those things. And then so then mother said, okay, tell your friend to come on this particular day. Then he was going out of the room, he came to the door and he just looks back at the mother and says, Mother, he's so deeply interested in meditation, he meditates for hours in the day. Mother said, then tell him to go straight go to Raman Maharshi's ashram to come to me. So what I mean to say is that our work primarily is karma yoga, not dhyana yoga. So it is good to know and practice the things that she has said very consciously. That helps. Otherwise, as it is said, that a coolie also works so many hours and a bhakta also works. What's the difference? Why is it that he doesn't realize the divine? So there are many things that go in between in the life of sadhana, which make us conscious and makes the path of this yoga is coming, from the dhatu of yuj, connection, contact, communion, union with the mother, helpful. So this consciousness to grow is absolutely essential if we are living here. Otherwise, our life is as mundane and as ordinary we could have lived anywhere else. So we are losing on time and her grace if we do not become conscious of that. That's for sure. Thank you all so much.
I'm not able to recollect my grandpa, Nanaji. He used to work in bakery from 55, 66. He used to always say, today I am going to do the mother's bread. He will take bath, he won't touch it. It's out of memory. I was 3, 4 years old or something. Then mother's bread used to be made separately. Now
Sure. Mother and Sure.
It was in 55, 57. I was just
in mother's bread. Was it Aurobindo bread used to be? Aurobindo,
in bakery.
Mother and Aurobindo both. Bakery used to be.
Bakery. He used to say that, and then he would it's almost like meditation. He used to go and he wouldn't even say, no, today mother's bread today. So that much only as a baby I remember. But anything you know about it?
No, I do not know about it. But I know that special bread used to be made for mother and Aurobindo. When Aurobindo was there, I knew. But she hardly used to eat. My knowledge about information about her food is that she hardly used to eat. Of course, bread is because she was from France, no doubt. Otherwise, if our guru was not from France, we would have had chapatis. There's no doubt about it, because when I go to those, Beloo, what do you say that those in Punjab there are those huge big akhadas nahi, kya bolte hain? Langar, nahi, where we have gone Bias. What are those called? Deras, क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Thousands of people stay there. So ladies make
Dharamshala
नहीं बचे. It is there is a it's acres and miles and miles as a matter of, and there they make chapatis. When I went there to one of these, that was the least people, 1.5 lakh. Chapatis for 1.5 lakh people.
Wow.
Imagine that. And they're full, they had shown us the full, the system, cooking. But then mother taught us bread. I always feel that it's because of, maybe mother's bread would be different if at all she would take, because she used to take very soft food. Previously, there used to be buns. You people were not born at all. Buns, beautiful. And sometimes they were sweet buns. We used to love it.
Well, don't start a second talk.
No.
I will like a little comment. Just a comment, an observation maybe. Well, it may seem that I'm asking after the Ramayana who is Sita, what the whole story is said. Because my basic question has not been answered. What is conscious eating? Well, we have had lots of drills and stories and Manu's contact. But the very word, conscious eating, when we do need to think about that. So while she was speaking, yes, my mind as usual wanders, and I said, what does it mean? Or why is it important? I mean, we know consciousness and be conscious and all. So what came to my mind during this period is that the Upanishads spoke to us many truths. But there are two essential truths that I remember, or recollect in fact. One, of course, is the great, the deep saying that Ananda is the beginning of creation, Ananda is the middle, and Ananda is the end. Well, it's a very deep philosophic statement. It takes perhaps a whole life divine to explain that single sentence. But on the mundane manifestation level of this earth and the human beings, they give us another statement. Eater, eating is eaten. I think what we are speaking about conscious eating, they caught it long back at that time, those thousands of years back. The truth of eating, the truth of conscious eating. But I don't want to explain, because it's very obvious. Eater, eating is eaten. That means whatever we eat, we think that I'm eating. But no, we are being eaten up by the food itself. It could be a mango, it could be chicken, it could be a chapati, it could be anything. So that is where the whole idea is into. So you have got to be conscious of what you are eating, because Mother also tells us many a time that the consciousness of the thing that you are eating gets into your body.
Yes, of course. Yes.
And that has its own repercussions. She has umpteen number of stories, but I don't want to get into those stories. But it's very simple that to remember that you are not eating. We have this, as he said rightly, the desire for food, that satisfaction that I am eating this masala wala or the luchi or whatever you want to call.
We are taking in a lot of tamas, she said.
But actually it is not. That we are eating, that's the whole problem. We are eating our desire, not the food. It's the food that you are taking that is eating. So from the time that it goes into your mouth, that has started eating your intestine, your whatever, your heart measure, your lungs. Everything is being pumped up, is being used by the little morsel of food. You call it gastric juices, you go to medical science, you have 1,000 words. So this is where the whole philosophy of eating lies. That what is the meaning of conscious eating is, now we understand that you are not eating food, you are being eaten by. So if that is the case, that you are eating, but that you are being eaten by, then one has got to be obviously careful to see, hey, what is it that I'm eating? All this question of vegetarian, non-vegetarian, morality and all that, it doesn't come into picture at all. The picture is that be careful of what you are eating. Now secondly, there's another side to it, which recently I have wondered, given it a thought, that the whole world, that all of us, I mean not only we, every living creature, because on my table sometimes I see an ant going around, what is it doing? It's searching for something to eat. Right from the ant to the humans to the animals, the whole world is seeking to eat. And that seems to be the central consciousness of this universe itself. So eating is not just the human food, going to corner house or dining room or eating chapati or bread. But this seems to be the consciousness of this present universe itself. Why is it that it's given so much importance? That is because out of the several times, I'm using the word times in the sense that this universe has been created, to quote Aurobindo, 1,000,000 times before. Is not the seventh creation or eighth creation. So we are not the first time that is being created. He says 1,000,000 times before the creation has been done. And again this time we have got the creation. But the difference between those 1,000,000 times and this time is that this time the creation is based on matter. That is the central secret of this universe, why we are all eating, being eaten and all that, is the center of this universe, the inmost secret of this universe is the basis which says the divine. Okay, divine is a big word. But divine as matter. So the central secret of this world, of this universe, is that the basis is matter. And matter being its basis, then the question of eating comes in. What Upanishads call the same famous word, hunger. You see, the whole question of conscious eating lies on the single word, hunger. So now we have all got this hunger which we cannot escape, because that is the structure of this universe is hunger. Hunger physically, hunger vitally, hunger mentally, hunger spiritually. So it's not just we are living, but at every moment there is hunger. Don't call it bad or good or spiritual, non-spiritual, all that is big philosophy, I don't get into that. But I see that this universe is only one word, hunger, which we turn into yoga and this asana, that asana, this old yoga, ancient yoga, integral yoga, all that is a big thing. You read the synthesis and all that. But to simplify, Upanishads have given us, and Aurobindo has given us actually, the word is hunger. And the second step of this hunger is to control that hunger. And the whole sadhana, if you take the whole synthesis of yoga, there's only one word in that, control. Control hunger, control your anger, control your lower emotions, everything, including what we call pranayama. Nothing but hunger is control. So control seems to be the central word of all yogas. You call it purification, renunciation, concentration, meditation, whole plethora of words are there. I don't want to give it a talk. I know Beloo said, Bhaiya, I'm not calling you for a talk, you say that. So I won't extend. But you see, I've been asking my questions. I have not just been silent listening to her stories. But I went back to say, hey, what's all this about? So we have this question of hunger, the question of eating, question of matter being the center of this universe. Now come to the philosophy side, the yoga side. Now if you have to control this, how do you do that? What do we do with this hunger? The easiest way, we have got 13, 17 volumes from Mother, 36 volumes from Aurobindo. Huge amount of writings are there. But she has also spoken about how to contact with the Mother, you have the communication. Ways and ways and ways. But have you forgotten what the Upanishad said, told us? There's only one best way. The easiest way, the fastest way, is to utilize the same hunger, the same food, to contact the divine, to contact the Master. Remember the famous word Annamaya Purusha? And he is that here in the body, that Annamaya Purusha is the body. And all the time we are busy with Annam, eating, churning, food. So they simply told us that what all food which you are taking, breakfast, lunch, midday, tea, dinner, most of the time we are eating. Either eating physically or mentally or vitally. So this eating physical, mental, vital, you give it to that person. That person is what? Annamaya Purusha. We are not speaking about the Pranamaya Purusha, all that is philosophy. I am just basing myself in a physical Purusha who is there within us. They have told us, and these people have told us here, Mother and Aurobindo. So what is the direct and the simplest way? That what you see, the question of offering. Remember and offer. What is it you are offering? Your actions, your emotions, your thoughts. And what are we doing all the 24 hours? Either one of us eating or sleeping or this thing. We are only doing work. So the simplest thing is connect with that Annamaya Purusha, because we are constantly eating, physically, vitally, mentally, even spiritually. So that eating is that Annamaya Purusha, give it to him. And the Gita also specifies that, Upanishad tells us that, and Mother Master would tell us that. So I would now come to this question which I asked myself. What is this conscious eating? Is to be when you are taking the first morsel or the first sip of water on your table. Remember, the same word offer. It is not offering to the samadhi or to this picture or to, no, nothing. All these are external godheads, external symbols, external forms of divinity. But why are you forgetting that there is a form of divinity here, right? We say the psychic being. Okay, it's a beautiful psychological term given by the Mother and Master, Atman. But I have nothing to do with that, I cannot touch them. But somewhere Annamaya Purusha is a greater reality, more tangible for me. Because my mind has been used to this Annamaya, Pranamaya, divinity, Satchidananda and all that. So that Purusha aspect is very live with me. So if I can offer to that food, say, oh Annamaya Purusha within me. Now you can give it a name, oh Mother, oh Aurobindo, oh Krishna or Lord, who is residing within me. Offer it to him. We go to Samadhi with a bouquet of flowers and offer it. It's so simple, much simpler to offer it. Every moment you take food to that being within. That is consciously I am eating my food. That at the moment I take my piece of bread, now I remember that this piece of bread, that my mouth is only a dwara, is only a doorway to that Annamaya Purusha. To him I offer. And to share with you a very, 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 very personal experience. I'm speaking about this today. Many years back, when we were at Aurobindo, at Aspiration, in a hut, I practiced this and I saw it live. That there is an Annamaya Purusha who is receiving in his mouth the food from my own mouth. Then I was convinced that if I can give to him all these questions of illness, indigestion and all that, because who is eating? Now the eater is he, not me. Eater being eaten is he, not my body. So then I realized the Buddha said the truth, my God. So simple. Be conscious means give to that food consciously to this Purusha who is there all the time, the conscious. We call him SACAR Purusha or that Purusha or witness. These are all philosophical jargon. But the truth is there because if, as the Vedas say, that this Purusha is there everywhere, first thing is in your body. Because it's he who is residing here. So why don't we think of this instead of big philosophies, what to do, what not to do, yoga and this and that. Simplest thing that I like to Purusha is that Purusha is there in your body. When you're eating, give it to that Purusha. And afterwards when the mother comes and all that philosophy is different. So friend, that understood of conscious eating. You see, it's not conscious, as she said also, she also mentioned, conscious cooking, that's different. But this is eating. And this conscious eating food, vital emotions, mental ideas, this is all conscious. Now this conscious, next time you call a meeting for conscious emotions, conscious thoughts, conscious aspirations. So then we see consciousness going at different levels. And the basis is, it starts with conscious eating, and that's the fastest and the quickest way because all the time we are eating this or that. But sorry, Beloo, I've taken a bit longer time than this.
It's all right. But thank you. This is very, I just wish we had longer to, or we had started earlier to kind of continue this very interesting conversation. Actually, in our issue also, this time we had one article by MP Panditji, where he exactly talks about this eater who is being eaten. And he calls it food. The title that he gave to that little essay was Food as an Agent of Death.
Oh,
and I think it's
exactly.
so provocative.
Same thing.
Food as an agent of death. Exactly the Upanishadic. He is explaining it in a little bit more modern way from his chronicles, mother's chronicles. So, but very interestingly. Thank you so much.